Now you can really argue, man. Does Gilbert Burns deserve to be number 5 ranked in the world? Probably not. Like this dude lost to Hamzat Chimaev and then got bumped to number 5 somehow, some way. Like it doesn't really make sense, right? But you're fighting the Haitian sensation, man. Neil Magny is a dangerous man. He's a volume guy. He's a grinder. But Gilbert Burns, man, he passed a test. Even though he lost, he passed a test that a lot of people can't say that they passed. And Neil Magny himself said, "Oh yeah, I went to train with Hamzat and I fucked around and I found out." Does that bode well, given that Gilbert Burns, when it came down to the grappling, I mean, Hamzat almost didn't really want to engage there, man. It was a stand-up war because Gilbert has that much to offer in terms of his jiu-jitsu repertoire, his wrestling repertoire, man. Do you think Neil Magny, his key to victory of winning this fight is staying on the feet and trying to pick at him at range? Like, what do you think is the plan of victory here?
It's either that or put a backpack on him right away, Derek. I think Neil Magny has the length advantage and has the speed advantage here. And I think he's going to have to work his kicks, his teeps, staying at range. But that's not really Neil Magny's game. I mean, yeah, he can get that done. Yeah, he's proficient on that. But he likes to be up in there close, grabbing you up, putting your backpack on, he's smothering you, winning his type of fight. And now if Hamzat can't do that to Gilbert Burns, and I don't really see any other number of people that really could, I mean, how likely is Neil Magny going to be that he's going to go in there, put the backpack on, and choke out Dorino? I mean, not necessarily to me. But I think he does have a lot more likely outcome of keeping it range, piecing him up, throwing that jab down the pipe, front kick, jab down the pipe, working the angles, making it look technical, frustrating Gilbert in order for him to start rushing in, attacking when he's not really supposed to, making those little bits of mistakes, leaving his chin open, fighting with a little bit of ego, and then getting put to sleep. That's the way I kind of see it if you're a Neil Magny fan. What about you?
Well, I was just going to say, man, at the end of the day, like Neil Magny does hold a couple of tangibles, I guess if you want to call it, that are going to be very helpful. One, you're like 5 inches taller than this dude, Gilbert Burns, and you have like a 9-inch reach advantage. So yeah, the smart game is to stay at range and pick him apart. But that's not Neil Magny's game, as you just alluded to. He likes to walk you down. He likes to put pressure on you. Gilbert Burns has to close the distance. He has to grapple in this fight. I feel like that's the only way he can win this fight. But at the same time, we've often mentioned, and I'm going to leave this one quick, man. To me, this is a very decisive fight right here. I see it going pretty much one way, and I'll be very surprised if it goes the other way. I think that for Gilbert Burns, often overlooked, right? Or actually not often overlooked. He's overlooked in this fight, but Neil Magny is often the overlooked one. Gilbert Burns in this situation, even though the odds makers respect Gilbert Burns for what he has accomplished in the cage, I think the perception of it is Neil Magny's coming off of a big win. He's going to beat this dude, Gilbert Burns, who hasn't done anything notable, hasn't beat anybody. Like I said, Kamaru Usman, Hamzat Chimaev are like your most recent losses, bro. That's the cream of the crop right there. We cannot really beat you up too bad for that. But if Neil Magny is stick to just striking and just volume base, I think Gilbert Burns' power, his ability to grapple, close distance, and once again pass that eye test is just going to be a little bit too much for Neil Magny right here. Let's not forget, Gilbert Burns has a fantastic chin, right? So you're going to be able to take in a couple of shots in order to close that distance. Go with those explosive, takedown attempts and all that clinch work. I really just see this as a smash spot for Gilbert Burns right here. I think people have forgotten how good he is, and I think that even though all respect to the Haitian sensation, Neil Magny, monster of a man right there, Gilbert Burns does still belong in title contention right now. I don't know if you can say the same for Neil Magny. I think that he is a perennial top 5 to top 10 fighter, even though he's ranked number 12, but I think Gilbert Burns is top 1 to top 4. You know what I mean? So rant aside, do you got any give back, any pushback on there, or do you think that's a fair assessment?
Derek, I think the only thing I can add to that, because I agree with it 100% wholeheartedly, is I don't know what Dorino means, but I think it means iron, because Gilbert Iron Burns, bro, is hardcore. This dude has a chin, he has power, and Neil Magny is going to be an uphill battle it's going to be an uphill battle for Neil Magny on this one. Yeah, man, I just getting right into it. I think it's going to be Gilbert Burns, TKO. I'm thinking 3rd round. If I had to guess, the over and under is 2.5. What is it, Derek?
The over and under on this fight, my friend, is going to be 2.5 rounds. But if you had to guess, what is the favorite, over and under? What do you got?
I'd bet the favorite is the under, but I'm still sticking with the over on this one myself. Is it?
A trick question. I apologize. I didn't mean to fool you. -115 a pop, man. Pick them for the over and under, man. They do not know if it'll go within the distance or it'll go to a decision, but I'll tell you what, man. If Gilbert Burns can implement a little bit of that Shavkat Rakhmonov that, Shavkat was able to do on Neil Magny, man, it's going to be a short night. I like Gilbert Burns here. Give me This is a tough one, man, because I feel like I want to finish, but give me a decision. I want to finish, though, but give me a decision. And the reason I say decision is because I truly do respect Neil Magny, man. I think he's not a scrub or a walkover or a pushover. I just think Gilbert Burns is that good. So tell me again, what is your methodology?
TKO round 3. I also respect Neil Magny. I just think Gilbert Burns is gonna have to take the third, man.
So
He's gonna have to do it long term right here.
clearly not. No, I'm just joking, man. And then I did a little quick check for you, man. Dorino, I guess that more. I mean, you were close, man. Not iron, but like hard man, tough guy. You know what I mean? Like that's more or less what Dorino means. So I mean, look at that forehead, bro. Like you just fucking take hammers to that shit, break the hammer. Either way, all right, man. Now let's move on.